All right, welcome to episode 2 of The Locker Room. I'm Jalen Banks with one of my best friends in the world, Kijana Caldwell. We're just two lifelong friends chopping it up about everything going on in the sports world.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey.
How's the week going so far?
Hey, working, man, traveling, doing what I can. But it's been a good week of football, though. We had a little college showcase this week for the high school players and everything.
Oh, okay.
So, look, got some college coaches come out. I know they was loving that, so it was good.
Yeah, again, I'm not coaching, but I get my little fix of football in by playing a flag league, get out and throw the ball around.
What day
a
is
little
that?
bit.
Sundays?
It's
Mondays.
Is 7, 8, or 9. It just depends on the schedule.
I want to join one.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm hurting.
That was me. I'm like, if I play 18 holes of golf, I'd be hurting after that slump.
But
be
the
bad.
thing is, like, my body isn't sore. But what happened was, we threw a Hail Mary right before the half, and I told them, I'm like, hey, like, I'm gonna launch it, like, run. And I bombed it like 60. I haven't thrown a 60-yard pass in 5 years or so.
Yeah.
So this lat is not feeling it. I let it ride though, but I'm hurting.
Hopefully it was caught.
Right,
I'm gonna guess not, but yeah, let's get it. All right, man. Look, let's get it. All right, man. We're going first. First, we're gonna talk about this NBA series, man. Round two. You know, we got Cavs, Pacers, Knicks, Celtics, Thunder, and the Nuggets, and lastly the Wolves and the Warriors, man. Any predictions on how these gonna turn out?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Cavs in 6. I think they get it figured out. I mean, I don't want to say they beat themselves. The Pacers have played well, but I'm gonna go Cavs in 6. I'm gonna go Celtics in 6. I'm gonna go Wolves in 6, and then I'm gonna go Nuggets in 7.
Interesting. I'll get mine out. I went Pacers in 7, Celtics in 6, Nuggets in 7, Wolves in 6.
All right, bet.
So yeah, it was just one game off. I picked Pacers over Cleveland, and you went Cleveland.
But,
Go ahead.
I just feel like Cleveland will figure it out. They've been so good all season long. Like, they're right there. You know, a couple possessions here and there.
For me, it's the injuries, though. Last game, you had Mobley out, Hunter out, Garland's been out. Unless they can really, because you still got to come back and feel at your best when you're hurt. I mean, if Hunter can give what he's given off the bench since he's got traded, which is like, I'm gonna say 15 points off the bench, and Mobley, if he can give you 16 and 8, 16 and 7, that's gonna win you basketball games.
With Mobley, I think it's less about the scoring and more so him scoring, and more so can you slow the Pacers down, and they haven't been able to yet.
Yep.
But the reason why I went why I went Nuggets in 7 is I'm just never gonna go against the best player in the world. Like, that's
what I went. He the X factor.
Yeah, like the best player in the world, man. It's hard to go against him. Like, we saw that with LeBron, you know, for like a 10-year run, where it was like, when it comes to the conference side of the bracket, even if he's the underdog, when you're so great and when you're at your peak, you're just gonna find a way to win. And one of the benefits of Jokic, and I'm not saying that LeBron didn't have help, but how many game winners over the past 2 postseasons has somebody other than Jokic on the Nuggets made?
That's what I'm saying. You got Jamal Murray at any point in time could knock down a 3. For some reason, Aaron Gordon out here knocking down 3s, and then Michael Porter got it in him. Like, they just got buckets.
Last postseason, Jamal had the 2 game winners against the Lakers. This postseason, Aaron Gordon has 2 game winners. It's like Jokic is, as long as they're in it, they keep it close. He just needs somebody else to hit the shot.
Yeah. He gonna facilitate, man. He does what he does. It's Jokic. He still 20, 12, and 12. Some light. Some light shit. No cap.
And then I went Celtics in 6. I think it'll be a tough 6, though. Like, I don't think it'll be
a brutal
a
6.
ton of, yeah. If I'm the Cavs or the Pacers, I'm looking forward to whoever comes out of that series between the Knicks and the Celtics, because it's going to be a scrappy, very competitive series. I mean, you look at the Knicks, every move that they've made since getting Jalen Brunson was to compete with the Celtics. Getting OG, moving off of Julius Randle, getting Mikal Bridges. Like, they got all these defenders and these wings that can defend and compete with the wings of the Celtics. Like, they've got multiple bodies that they can throw at Jalen Brunson and Jason Tatum. And then it's like, hey, Jalen Brunson, go do your thing.
For me, though, it's the Knicks at the free throw line. They won last week shooting 54% from the line. Yeah. Look, I understand it, but, like, if you get them points back, you win in basketball games. But, like, they haven't shot well at the free throw line all season. So, like, it's going to get tough beating Boston in a 7-game series not making free throws.
Yeah.
And then you got Celtics at a point in that game had a 20-point lead. How often are the Celtics giving up 20-point leads?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like the Celtics are like, I feel like they're gonna get it done. It's gonna be scrappy, but they gotta get it done. And then the Celtics in game 1 were 25% from the 3-point line.
And I don't see them going cold like that.
Like that ever. Like it's just not gonna happen.
I mean, like,
Tatum's gonna find it.
Maybe another game in the series, but consistently throughout, they'll find it.
And as a collective group, like everybody shot bad. Like if Tatum's off one night, Brown's on one night, Kristaps end up not being hurt or sick or something like that last game, he's gonna find it sometime. Pritchard off the bench gonna find it sometimes. Like they have so many tools that it's gonna get tough for the Knicks in a 7-game.
And ultimately, I feel like the Celtics have more players that can consistently create their own shot. Whereas with the Knicks, outside of Jalen, how many people are you confident that can consistently create their own shot? So if you can find a way to slow him down and neutralize him, I think you can beat them. But I mean, we've seen Tom Thibodeau for years, every postseason, make series competitive and win series he probably shouldn't have won. So that's why I say it's going to be a real tough 6.
Yeah, and then look, going on to the next one, the Wolves and the Warriors. No Steph, no Batman. You heard him say it. There's no way they can win that series without Steph Curry. And after that hamstring injury, out maybe 2-3 games? That's at minimum.
Basketball is one of the, like, other sports you can kind of get away with it depending on the position you play. You can definitely get away with it in football to a certain extent. Not if you play like DB or receiver, but if you're like a linebacker or a lineman, quarterback, you can get away with it. Basketball, especially as much as he runs, he can't go out there with a bum hamstring. There's no way.
I played basketball on Sundays, bro. Gassed. Up and down the court twice. Gassed.
They say it was a grade 1?
I believe so. Yep.
Yeah. I got, like, if Steph comes back, I could see them winning another game, but I'm going to just go Wolves in 6. Maybe you can get a vintage Jimmy performance in there that'll get you another W. But, it's...
And then it's for me, there's still the no big. Like, Draymond's your center. Gobert's just going to... I understand Draymond going to hack a shack, but, I mean, you can't do nothing when you're giving up, 18 boards a game or something like that? Like, your big's boarding. Like, I just can't see them doing that much.
Which is odd, because in the past, they've had bigs. Like, the Warriors have always kept, like, a big on the roster.
I mean, they got 2 on the bench they don't use no more. Post and Looney. They don't even use them.
But I'm saying, like, in the past they did. Like, you would see Jaja Pachulia. You would see Anderson Varejao. You'd see Festus Ezeli, Mo Spates.
James Wiseman.
Yeah, like, they would keep a big around. I mean, they had DeMarcus Cousins before, he kind of fell apart, but now it's like non-existent. We're just gonna go out there with Draymond, and it is what it is.
I told you they gonna hack a shack. Rudy Gobert, take him to the free throw line. Yeah, and them hard fouls too. You know Draymond don't play about them fouls.
Or flagrant, and they say he might get another suspension.
He's dangerous.
Do you see a pathway for either the Knicks or the Thunder to win their series? Maybe more so the Thunder.
The Knicks or the Thunder? The Thunder, yes. I mean, it's, free throw merchant. I'm just kidding. But look, Shy, you know what he's going to give you, bro. You know what he's going to give you. Or Shea, sorry, I be saying Shy. Shea, dude is legit. He knows how to get a bucket at any point in time. Like, he is, and I don't think anybody in the backcourt can guard him. So, on that specific team, I don't think the Nuggets have a great defender.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of, you know what it's like in basketball. Like, momentum matters so much. And I feel like losing the way that they did, like, that fashion is so demoralizing. It's like we were up. It's like we almost had it in the bag. And then we lose on basically a buzzer beater. That's gut-wrenching, bro. Like, I
think it goes down now that they get a game back at home is how they respond at home. If they can put them away, like, in a good fashion, this game too, then it's going to be telling. But we shall see. We shall see.
And my older brother Jason, we were talking about the series because he's been a Thunder fan since we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we were playing 2K10, and he randomly like found the Thunder. It was just like, oh, like I never heard of them, and that's been his team ever since. He was like, they got this point guard.
Supersonics.
Yeah, they were the Supersonics, and then they were the Thunder. And he's like, who's this? I remember KD's overall was an 88. KD had never been an 88 since then. But KD was an 88. Russ was like an 84. This is before Serge Ibaka was even like they said his name on 2K. They'd be like number 9, and that's been his team ever since. So he's like, this is the battle of the MVPs.
Yeah.
Or the candidates at least. I think Shea will win MVP.
Yeah, he gonna win it.
But
you cannot not give it to him this year. Like it's just he has to get it.
He for sure wins MVP, but I still think Jokic is the best player in the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm taking him. I just think I don't know. I'm gonna just stick with the Nuggets. But all right, let's move to a more like fun topic.
All right, look.
When it comes to the basketball, you can
topic
go ahead and
tee
this one off.
I got you. Topic this week, man. Start, bench, cut. Let's get it. Okay, we going point guards this year. I mean, for this playoff series, I'm giving you 3: Jamal Murray, Tyrese Halliburton, Jalen Brunson. Let's hear it, big dog. Yeah, let's get it.
All right, so I did a decent bit of prep leading up to this. I looked at how many playoff games they've each played and went through like their playoff averages. So Jamal Murray's played 73 games in the postseason. He averages 24, 6, and 5 on 46% from the field, 39% from 3. Tyrese has only played in 22 so far. His stats are almost identical to what he averages during the regular season. 18.6 points per game, 9 assists, 5 rebounds, 48 from the field, 36 from 3. And then for Brunson, he's played in 56 games. He averages 24.8, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 46 from the field, but 34% from 3. For me, since stylistically they're all a little bit different, I've thought about who's been more impactful for their team, number one, and who's had marquee moments. So it may be a little bit controversial, but I started Jamal. I'm benching Halliburton, and then I'm cutting Jalen Brunson. Now, what I will say is, when it comes to Brunson's averages, I did the totality of his career instead of doing like post Dallas.
Yep.
So he probably is at like 28 a game for the Knicks because like he had a few. But
I get you. I think you went more of a career, like overall of your career of the start, bench, cut guys.
Yeah. And so the reason why I went Halliburton over him is because Hallie beat him.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Pacers beat the Knicks last year, and I mean that shot the other night. Brunson doesn't have a shot like that in the postseason, not that I know of. Like a legit game winner.
And if it's a game winner, it's gonna be a midi. But
yeah, like Halliburton stepped back, hit the shot. As for Jamal, like some of his postseason performances are some of the best we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like he's had two 3-1 comebacks in his career. Granted, he's playing with Nikola Jokic, but he's had 2 3-1 comebacks, and in those series he was unstoppable. Like when him and Donovan Mitchell were going back and forth in the bubble, his series performances against the Lakers with LeBron and AD, he has 2 game winners against the Lakers. And when Jamal was hurt, Nikola was getting bounced in the first round. Jamal comes back and they win a chip.
Yeah.
So when it comes to who's been impactful, granted, if you switch roles, if Jalen's on the Nuggets with Jokic, do they win? If Halliburton's on the Nuggets, do they win? Maybe, but I've seen that when Jamal is healthy, his team is capable of winning a championship. When he wasn't there, even though Nikola is Nikola, they were getting bounced in the first round. So I started Jamal, bench Hallie, and then cut Jalen. Because I feel as if, in a way, you get that score in Jamal Murray. But as Draymond Green has talked about, and I don't like quoting Draymond, but he said there's 82 game players and there's 16 game players. And he's mainly used that to talk about like Jimmy Butler in the postseason, but I feel as if Jamal Murray is one of those 16-game players where he raises his level of play for the postseason.
Yeah, and I guess for my 3, how I took it, I went kind of who I want on my team right now in these playoffs to get the job done.
Okay,
that's kind of how I went with it. So this right now, I went Jalen Brunson start, what the Halliburton bench, and I cut Jamal Murray.
You cut Jamal.
I cut Jamal Murray, which I understand it because I think of the team and the need of the player, and I know you went on without Jamal Murray, Jokic bounce and everything like that. But it
wasn't just bounced; it was belt.
Yeah, but I think Jalen Brunson right now, honestly, could be one of the best top 3-point guards in the league. I think could be a top 3-point guard in the league right now. He just produces usually every game. I mean, like, he's been very consistent from the mid range. Usually knocks down his free throws. Like,
define. Like, are we calling is Shea a point guard? Is Luka a point guard?
Yeah, that's the no. Luka's not a point guard. No, Luka's not a point guard. Shea, he's a 2 that handles the ball. Like, it's tough. Like, he a 2 that handle the ball. When I think of point guard, I'm thinking of, you get the Jamal Murray, you got Hallie, you got Jalen Brunson, Steph, you like it's De'Aaron Fox. Yeah, like I feel like not just primary ball handlers, but that's like your position on the court. Just because you're a forward that bring up the ball, you're not a point guard. So
yeah, when people talk about Luka being a point guard, I'm like,
he's a point forward.
Yeah, it's like calling LeBron a point guard.
Yeah,
in 2020, 2019 when he led the league in assists, it's like or James Harden a point guard.
Mm-hmm. But no, yeah, and then I like Halliburton. Halliburton's been really good in these playoffs. I did not like him in the regular season, but I think they kind of like are gelled right now and playing really good basketball, and he's leading them to good basketball, leading them to play good basketball. So I think that's why I got him there. And I think Jamal Murray, specifically this year, I don't think they need Jamal Murray to win these games. Necessarily need him,
but he had like a 37-pointer a few games
he's
ago.
Played great. Yeah, he's played good basketball. He's played good basketball. It's just right now I think I would want the other two, as my point guard rather than Jamal Murray in this situation. For any of the teams right now, if I was a point guard or the manager of any team, I'm gonna take Jalen Brunson or Tyrese Halliburton over Jamal Murray right now. 2 years ago is a different story. Like it's just like you get a little bit older, which is crazy to say.
Yeah,
a little bit older, the younger guys. I think that's where
I just feel like I have more evidence of his postseason play being up here than the other two. And even with Halliburton, I was hesitant on whether or not to cut him. But again, that shot he hit, like that's what the playoffs is about. Yeah. Even though, like, as a player, I would prefer to have Jalen Brunson, like, in the postseason. And maybe Jalen just hasn't had that opportunity to take that shot. But the fact that I've seen Tyrese do it
multiple times, he's done it twice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've seen him do it now, and so when the going gets tough, like you need that person where it's like,
like you handle it. You or like what they say in Chicago? Yeah, your world.
Hey, clear up. Your world, clear up.
And, I like it. That's for the start bench cut. Well, start bench cut. So we finish up that segment. I want to move on to a little bit of NFL now, man. We did NBA, move on to NFL. What you got for me?
Breaking news this morning. George Pickens headed to the Dallas Cowboys. The 3-year Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver, second-round draft pick out of the University of Georgia in 2022. After an up and down, I'd say, starts his career in Pittsburgh, he's headed to Dallas for a 3rd round in 2026 and a 5th round in 2027. First off, what do you think about the compensation that Dallas gave up for him?
Honestly, people were surprised that it was just the 3rd, but I think the 3rd fit because of the unknown, the ceiling of what you could get out of a good George Pickens, a level-headed playing George Pickens. You're getting a lot out of him if he can stay on the field, stay healthy, produce on the opposite side versus a number 2 cornerback. He's a glorified 1, which he was in Pittsburgh. It's just him with, I guess, mental aspect of the football game wasn't the best. But you're getting a 3rd and what, you said a 6th or something like that? A fifth. Yeah, I think it was good compensation. I think people were looking at a 2nd maybe, and I think the 2nd and the 5th would have been more justifiable, people would say. But I think the 3rd and the 5th was good for Pittsburgh because they've got 12 picks in 2026. 12 picks. They did that on purpose. They got some in the works. So, what about you?
I thought the compensation was good. You get a relatively cheap option right now. Like, I don't know how much he's making this year, but I'd imagine it'd be cheaper than a 1-year rental for Amari Cooper right now. or a 1-year rental for Keenan Allen right now.
Which is crazy because Keenan. Well, that's another topic. He could take a pay cut and be on somebody good right now, win a championship.
Yeah.
But I don't think he wants to do that. But
the only thing about George is, and one of my good friends, Isaiah Gully, who also played safety in college, he's a Cowboys fan. He had talked about how he likes the move right now, but at the same time, George Pickens was a second-round pick, not a first-round pick. So this is the last year of his rookie deal. What if you don't re-sign him? You gave up a third-round pick for a 1-year rental. And as you just mentioned, Pittsburgh has 12 picks. We know how coveted draft picks are. So that's like my only concern as far as the pick. But in terms of the player, I mean, you get a legitimate number 2 wide receiver. This is a guy that, with the up-and-down quarterback play in Pittsburgh, has been able to put up a 1,000-yard season. He had 900 yards last year. He had around 900 as a rookie, with Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, Mitch Trubisky, his first 2 seasons, and then, the up and down play of Justin Fields and Russell Wilson last year. Had Russell had played the entire season, I think he cracks 1,000. Their offense was pretty bland at the beginning of the year. It was ball control, bootlegs.
Yeah, it was win games.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily
let's control the ball.
Up stats. Let's win the game.
The rest of y'all, defense.
We're going to win games.
Yeah, defense go up. But then with Russ, they opened it up, and it really fit him. I was excited to see what he would have been with DK, honestly. Yeah. So I'm a little bit disappointed that we're not able to see that. I feel as if Arthur Smith, who's their OC, Arthur Smith was the OC in Tennessee with Mike Vrabel in the beginning, and he was their OC when they had A.J. Brown and Corey Davis. And we saw what that offense was like with the play action, with the deep shots, the deep crossers, the post. Like, they really stretched the field. And so I felt as if Arthur Smith was getting essentially the 2.0 version of that with George Pickens and DK Metcalf. But now he's in Dallas, and I think Dallas, you get somebody to take targets away from, or at least attention away from CD. Again, my friend Isaiah Gully, I was talking to him earlier, and he said CD had 70 more catches than the next closest receiver on their team, which
is crazy. That's so much. He'll be out the league in 5 years. He gotta get some help.
That's a season's worth of catches for a number 2. Like, George can take all of that. And, I mean, he's a good player. Part of the reason why he's gone has nothing to do with his talent. I think it's more so, like, his attitude is too blanket.
What it is. You know what they say, though? You're not supposed to. If Mike Tomlin's selling, I don't know if you buying. At a receiver position, if he's selling, I don't know if you want to buy.
What receiver had they moved off on before their rookie deal was over?
Any receivers, but they've moved off of them for specific reasons. That the same reason they're moving off of George Pickens on.
All the dudes that they've drafted over the years, you've got Hines Ward, Mike Wallace, Emmanuel Sanders, Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster. Like, they've all
Claypool
at least gotten. Well, that's a good example. Like, Chase, his attitude just wasn't it, and they're like, sayonara.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part. The league, man. No matter how really good you are, but if you can't fit the bill, then it's gonna be a tough scene for you in the league. But I think he does. I think it made in terms of Dallas's perspective, I think it made Dallas' draft better. Their draft, it just complemented their draft. I'm telling you, they say Jerry don't know what he's doing, but he working something over there. He doing something.
Absolutely. But looking at the Steelers' receiver room now, they've got DK Metcalf, and then after DK, you got Scotty Miller, Robert Woods, Ben Skoranek,
Calvin Austin.
They drafted Roman Wilson last year in the 3rd round, receiver out of Michigan.
Yeah, I think they're expecting him to do because I don't think he played at all last year. He was injured for quite a bit, and
he played in like one game and had like 5 targets or something.
Yeah, but they're expecting a big jump out of him. But like I said, I think they have to go and get a receiver out of the free agency. I think they're going to have to sign Amari Cooper or sign a now released Gabe Davis. You're going to have to sign somebody. You can't. I don't think you can go with the same as you did last year with worse quarterback play this year. It's an unknown quarterback play.
Yeah, you have like a handshake deal with Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yeah.
Does this help getting him to the team?
They about to go get Randall Cobb back. Like, I don't know what they want.
Alan Lazard.
Like, I'm at a loss of what they want or what he wants to be able to play. What he's waiting on.
I think he's waiting to see the schedule. I think that's what he's waiting on. Who are we playing? When are we playing? Are they going to give the steal? Like, if he signs now, They probably get a whole bunch of like short weeks at the beginning of the year. Thursday night game early, Monday night game early. They may have them playing overseas. But if it's like the league is going through the schedule, and we may have Mason Rudolph starting for the Steelers. Don't put them on Thursday Night Football early. Or don't put them overseas. Like, we need our marquee matchups over there. I think he's waiting for the schedule to come out so he can see when and where they're playing, and then he'll sign once that schedule is out, with the league assuming Mason Rudolph or Will Howard is going to be their starter.
We'll see how that goes.
Because if he signs now, they're going to give the Steelers more primetime games than they would if Mason or Will Howard was starting.
Oh, for sure. And honestly, it's gonna. Mason Rudolph he might end up starting. I'm curious of what Howard going to do, but he going to play with a lot of passion. That's all I can tell you that now.
Mason can just right the ship. But as for the Cowboys, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got George Pickens, and then you got like a lot of dudes. They got Jonathan Mingo, Jalen Tolbert. They signed Paris Campbell.
Yeah.
Kevontae Turpin's still there. Like, they got.
And then you got the running back by committee with Miles Sanders and
Javonte
Williams and Jaden Blue. So it'll be a good little scene. But I want to transition to another topic now. Just a topic that recently was brought to light. I mean, it's not like I think I called it a controversy earlier, so it's not really a big controversy, but just like the Abdul Carter thing with the retired jersey numbers. Like, what do you think? I know he's asked Lawrence Taylor about his number. He said no. He asked about another retired number jersey for 11. Phil Simms. He said no, and then he said yes, and his family said no. Like, what is your take on if retired jerseys are, I guess, overused, or if they should be used, or just some knowledge of what you got about that whole topic?
Yeah, so first off, I want to say, for those that are saying, well, why would he ask Lawrence Taylor? Like, they thought it was distasteful, or he thought too highly of himself to ask for Lawrence Taylor's number or Phil Simms' number. I think it's less about him as a player and more about honoring those particular players. You know what I mean? I think when it comes to what I would like to see teams do more is less about retiring numbers and more so making specific numbers special. Like LSU at number 7 or the Cowboys with 88. I'd much rather see that. Like, hey, this is a number special to our team. We're going to continue to honor the legacy of this number. So that's what I would like to see.
Thank you.
He won. He wore 11 at Penn State because that's what Michael wore, and it was cool. It was like another 11 at Penn State. Like, with the Cowboys, there is a clear history with the number 88. You've got Drew Pearson, you have Michael Irvin, you had Des Bryant. Right now you have CeeDee Lamb. Like, that's super cool.
Yeah.
But as for like retired jersey numbers, I truly think that if you're going to retire them, that nobody else should be able to wear it. Even if that person is alive and you would like to ask them, no, it's retired for a reason. Like, how often do you see buildings that are named after somebody or fields that are named after somebody have their names changed? Almost never. Like, for example, my great-grandfather, Earl Banks, he was longtime head coach at Morgan State, the HBCU in Baltimore. The field is named after him as we speak, and it's probably going to remain that way till the end of time unless something abhorrent happens and comes up about his legacy where it's like, hey, we got to change his name. And I don't foresee that happening. So when it comes to these numbers, it should be treated the same way. Like, if it's called blank whatever, this is blank stadium, or when you go to a university and it's like such and such hall, Lincoln Hall, whatever it may be, like, that name isn't changing. So when it comes to these numbers, I feel as if they should remain retired. Now, I know that like certain universities are starting to retire every number of somebody that was an All-American. That I don't agree with. Because now I feel as if you're kind of watering down jersey retirements. Like Terrence Shannon, with all due respect, I think he's a really good basketball player. Got his jersey retired at University of Illinois for being an All-American. He didn't win a natty. He was a National Player of the Year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want to downplay like being an All-American because that's a great accomplishment. But how many more All-Americans are U of I going to have at basketball?
Yeah, and that's where kind of I'm at on it. The retired jersey thing, I'm like, I'm with you. When I actually say that, I'm with you with if it's retired, it should stay retired. But the Bears and the Giants got 14 numbers retired. Bears got 3 in the single digits. Like, dude, like I think it's a point now that, like you said, it should be highlighted numbers rather than retiring this number because he did this. That's been a retired number since 1930. Like, I think it's a new wave of how you're going to have to do this or be very, very particular on the people's jerseys that are being retired.
Yeah, I think teams should just start honoring specific numbers.
But what do they do? What do they do now that they've got 14 numbers retired? Are you unretiring some? Like what? Like what's the stance? Of like, what do you do now? Where do you go from here?
I just think back in the day, teams were kind of thirsty to have numbers retired.
Yeah,
like Jim Harbaugh's numbers retired for the Colts. Do you know that?
Jim Harbaugh?
Yeah.
As in Jim Harbaugh that played for the Bears. Jim Harbaugh that coach.
Yes, his numbers retired.
Yeah.
His numbers retired for the Colts, bro.
Yeah. They don't need. Yeah, that's it. That's all I need to hear. Yep. We gotta unretire some and just hand them back out.
Like
somebody.
And the thing is, if you not necessarily unretire a number, but there's a retired number, and then you allow somebody
to
wear that number, and it doesn't work out. Back in 2013, do you remember Devin Gardner?
For sure, 98.
That jersey was retired.
I know.
For the University of Michigan. Like, I don't remember the full history behind it, but it was a big deal when he switched from his original number to then wearing 98.
At QB.
At quarterback, let him wear number 98. And they went 7-6, lost to Ohio State at the end of the year, and it was not the season. He wasn't a Heisman finalist, wasn't all conference, wasn't none of that. It was like, so why did we do this whole big to do about him wearing 98? Like, why did we do this again? And he was good, like, don't get me wrong. But it's like, why? So if I'm the Giants, I'd be hesitant to be like, you know what, Abdul, go ahead, we're 56.
See, that one, that's what I'm saying. 56, yeah, no. 11, he could have definitely wore that number.
It's retired, though, like Phil Simms.
He said yes. But if you can, that's what I'm saying. If he can say yes, then it's like the point in which where, all right, let's start doing the 11 thing like Penn State. Mm-hmm. He said, I think he should wear that number. 11 is now like a legendary number. Not a retired number, a legendary number.
Sure.
11 is now the legendary number. Post this, now this is where you start going. Every number at 11, if Abdul is Abdul at that point and does what Abdul's supposed to do, start the trend.
I think it would have been cool, but at the same time, when you retire a number, that name is also on the back of it. So, like, the Sims last name is attached to that. And so you're representing not only that number and that team, but you're also representing your family. Your family has a certain level of pride in that. Like, his family was like, no, like, don't let somebody else wear your number. And it's okay at times to be a little bit selfish. You're leaving this legacy for us, like your grandchildren, their children, so your great-grandchildren and beyond are going to be able to look up in the stands and see that Sims' last name is associated with 11.
Which is cool. Hang it in the rafters. Hang it in the rafters is always going to be there. But on the field, it needs to start changing. I'm sorry. Put that bug in the rafters for life.
If Phil Simms hadn't done what he did for the franchise, like if it were a Jim Harbaugh situation for the Colts, then I'd be like, all right, we need to change something. But he won 2 Super Bowl with the franchises. Like, he's revered. He's still like a great steward of the game, and he has a Super Bowl record, best completion percentage in a Super Bowl. Like, Phil Simms,
I'm with you.
Is he like Hall of Famer type player? No, but like for that specific franchise, he was the quarterback of not a dynasty for them, but a great stretch of football for that franchise where they ended up winning 2 Super Bowls. So I'm
with you. But yeah, all right. Well, we'll get a quick topic on the last NFL before we go to MLB. Those draft day biggest losers. This could be a quicker one, but biggest losers.
I've only got 2 teams. When we were talking last week, we were kind of on the same page that this was at least on paper, it appeared to be a really good draft for a lot of teams. And so for me, I don't think these are bad drafts, the ones that I'm about to mention, but since it's biggest losers, there were aspects that they lost out on. And I'll just start off with the Steelers being the biggest loser, because this was a draft that had receivers, and you didn't take a single receiver, and then you trade away your current second best receiver, and there's no clear replacement as of today. So that's one of my biggest losers from the draft from a few weeks ago.
Okay. My first one, I went the Bengals.
Okay.
It was just my fiance's gonna kill me for this. She a big who day, but I think there was a need at the offensive line position that they did not attack.
Interior or
interior
tackles?
offensive line. Interior offensive line. There was a clear need that Joe Burrow was getting hit too much. They didn't have a crazy good run game. I mean, Chase Brown was great last year. He was great. But it was great in the aspect he did a lot for them, catching short yardage passes, taking a 2-yard catch to 60 yards. Like, he just did a bunch for them. I don't think the run game was great.
And if he doesn't sprain his ankle, he cracks 1,000 yards on the season.
Yes. Off the muscle.
Yeah.
Not because my lineman is pushing dude's spot. That's off the muscle yards.
Yeah. No, he was legit last year.
But no, yeah, so I think they could have done more to address the interior offensive line, helping the run game, helping Burrow not get pressured as much.
The second team I had was my team. And not that I disagree with the picks. Like, they addressed the interior offensive line. They snagged another receiver. They snagged a few more pass rushers. But the Ravens GM, Eric DaCosta, had talked about how it's so important to have picks. And you see a lot of times where teams, they trade picks away for things in the future. And does it work out? Sure. But this is a lottery in a lot of ways. He said, I'd much rather have $20,000 scratch offs that I'm more likely to hit on than buying one Powerball ticket. And so Minnesota, of all the teams in the league, had the fewest draft picks in the league. And I feel as if with the draft and team building in general, you have to build for both the present and the future. And by having the fewest draft picks in the league, you're hindering building for the future, because now you're banking on every last one of those picks that you selected to hit.
Yep.
And I think that's too big of a gamble. Now, granted, they gave up picks to move for J.J. McCarthy. They gave up picks to get back into the first round to take Dallas Turner. They gave up another pick when Christian Darrisaw went down to go get Greg Robinson from Jacksonville to keep the season afloat. Like, I get the moves, but to have the fewest picks in the entire league, like, you're missing out on so many opportunities for a draft who, outside of the quarterback position, many consider to be a relatively good draft. So that was my other biggest loser. Not that I disagree with the picks they made. It's just the number of picks that they had.
And I think mine wasn't really a big loser either. It was the fact that they gave up a pick to do what they're about to do. And mine was the Falcons. They draft Jalen Walker in the first round and then come back again and draft another pick away and take James Pierce Jr., another edge rusher. What, was it early second?
Oh, they gave up a first.
They gave up a first, but did they pick him in the second or did they pick him in the first?
No, they picked him in the first.
Oh, they picked him in the first. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, it was
they
the first
traded,
as well.
They traded their first next year to the Rams.
And got another edge rusher, which, I mean, hey, 2 young edge rushers. I mean, who wouldn't want 2 young edge rushers? But you just drafted 2 edge rushers in the first round. Which I think they had other things to address. But, I mean.
That, and you're also trading within the conference. I'm not a believer in that. Why? Like, you're sending a first to the Rams? This is a team you could end up facing in the postseason.
And you're going to hate that the player that they picked is killing you for the next.
Was there not anybody in the AFC in the 20s that you could have traded the first to? And also, when it comes to trading back into the 20s now, I feel as if you're hurting. You could potentially hurt the league, because since that's what you guys gave the Rams, for future drafts, people are going to be like, well, hey, the Rams got a first, a third, and another mid-round pick for pick number 25. Like, teams aren't going to be just accepting anything now. In the past, you could have probably given them a second next year and then like a fourth for this year's draft.
Yeah.
And gotten back into the first. And they'd be like, all right, bet. Yeah, go ahead.
Giving up the first was that's why I said it was the loser. It's definitely up there.
And you're trading within the conference. Like, were the Ravens not an option? Were the Bills not an option? I'm trying to think of another AFC team. But
in what was that specific number? Do you think the next person after them was picking James Pierce? Like, what was, like, I don't know. Like, I want to know the reasoning behind the choice rather than what happened. Mike Green went in the second. Like, I don't know.
I'm always a believer that if you believe in a guy, go get him. That's why when people always talk about, like, there was just, when everybody tells, like, their hindsight 2020 stories about Mahomes, the Saints were like, oh, if he's there at pick 17, we were going to take him. Sean Payton's talking about how much he loved Patrick. Bruce Arians talked about how much he loved Patrick. And if Patrick was there at pick 14, he would have taken him, and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, you weren't. You don't wait on a quarterback. Like, who waits for their franchise quarterback? We know who wanted him, and that was the Chiefs. You know why? Because they traded from pick 20-something to get up to 10 to take him. You were at 14. You were at 17. And y'all didn't take him. So don't sit here and talk about how, oh, man, we loved him. We were going to take him if he was our guy. No, he wasn't, because you don't wait for your guy. You go get him. And so, I mean, kudos to the Falcons for going to get their guy. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if you needed to give up a first-round pick to move back into the first round at pick 25.
I'm with you. But all right, let's move on a little bit of baseball, man.
Yeah.
Talk about these top teams, how they're looking.
Pastime. So at the top of the AL, we've got the Detroit Tigers, the Seattle Mariners, the Cleveland Guardians. Then at the top of the NL, you've got the Dodgers, you've got the San Diego Padres, and then the New York Mets, who spent a ton of money this offseason. So at least they're getting an early return on their investment.
Juan Soto.
So
shuffle.
So we're like 43, 44 games in, somewhere around there. Do you think the top teams are starting to separate, or do you have a couple that are overachieving?
I don't think anyone's really separating. I think everybody's sitting in a solid position. The team that I think is in the best position right now is the Detroit Tigers, actually.
Okay.
He's 13-3 at home, 22-13 on the year, and they're in the AL Central, which a lot of people always consider a weak AL Central. Mm-hmm. Well, you got at the bottom of the list my White Sox, and then you got Minnesota Twins, who have underperformed this year. Mm-hmm. But then you got them, Cleveland, and the Royals, who I think the Royals got the MVP this year, and Bobby Witt. But Detroit's got a very, very good lineup right now. A good rotation in the pitching for the starter pitchers. Mm-hmm. So they're just looking very good, playing solid baseball, and they're in the AL Central. So I think they're sitting pretty, in my opinion.
Speaking of Bobby Witt, real quick. So you know this, but for those that may be watching, I worked in news down in Missouri for a few years. I worked down in southern Missouri, about 2 hours south of Kansas City. When I lived there, whenever we would run highlights of the Royals, when they were winning like 30 games or whatever, he was the only person where we could get highlights from. It was him and like Nick Prado. Those are the only two.
Old Salvador Perez.
Those were the only people that when we would run highlights on, it was like Bobby Witt every time. Like he was hitting a homer or doing something crazy. So as somebody who lived in the state of Missouri for some time, it's super cool to see his maturation and also like the team follow him in that maturation process.
Yeah.
You've got like some juggernauts in the MLB right now, so I don't know if he'll be able to like lift them to a World Series.
And that's where you kind of hate it in the MLB, because he can do all this stuff for the franchise, and then contract season comes up, and then the Yankees want to pay him $30 trillion. He's getting a contract,
whatever
for 70 M's a year.
Yeah,
and we're gonna defer that till he's 45. Yeah. Like it's that situation. But yeah, those are my early ones.
Mahomes is like a minority owner. He may have to, break out his checkbook like, hey.
Oh, for sure. Look, I mean, dude, it's ridiculous. But talking about those top teams, I think even though the Dodgers are up there, they're sitting in a kind of a brutal situation in their conference. But the Padres and Giants, each well above 500, it gets kind of tough when you get 90, 100 games into a season to play those in-division games and continue to win. So,
do you think that if they stay healthy, it won't even matter?
Yeah. Like the Dodgers specifically.
How many top 25 players do they have on their team?
You got Mookie, you got Freddie, you got Shohei. The thing is, top 20, you could keep going. I'm not sure if he's top 20, but Muncie's great. You just got some really good players on the team, pitching wise. I haven't even go to the pitchers yet. Yeah. And you get, for some reason, every team that Sox, they trade away a player, he becomes the best player known to man. So you got Kopech, who was a closer for them last year, phenomenal. What he was pitching, he had he ended the game pitching like 6 straight strikeouts or something like that. Like, ridiculous. They've got a whip. Like they've got some dangerous players that can play well all season long.
All right, let's get to some middle of the pack teams that can maybe start climbing. Would you consider the Yankees middle of the pack right now?
I mean, on paper, yes, but no.
I think they were sitting like 4th or 5th.
Yeah, it's like either 22-16 or something like that, where it's like considered middle of the pack. I think they're still a top team.
Are they
with getting Bellinger?
Are they on a crash course to seeing the Dodgers again or no?
I'm gonna say no as of right now. I think teams have gotten a little bit better. Teams like the Mets, teams like the Padres have gotten better in the fact that I think any of these teams can make it out of the AL or the NL. But I think it's gonna be It's gonna be very hard for that rematch to happen because even with the Dodgers, they could lose in the playoffs to outstanding Padres. Like it's just gonna be tough.
What's the middle of the pack team you see? I've got 2.
Got 3.
You got 3? Okay.
And they all got the same record.
Okay.
I got 3 that all have the same record. Boston.
Okay.
Cincinnati.
Okay.
And Atlanta.
Okay.
I don't know when he's getting back. I'll start with Atlanta first. I don't know when he's getting back, but if Ronald Acuna gets back and he's healthy, he's dangerous in any situation, everywhere. I mean, what is he, 50-50? Like, 50 stolen bases, 50 home runs. Dude's a dangerous player. If he comes back healthy, he's always going to be dangerous with the people they already got, with Michael Harris and I can't even think of why am I blanking on names now. But yeah, they got really good players over in Atlanta, and with the Garrett Crochet as their starting pitcher right now. No,
Yeah.
he's sorry, that's not Atlanta. He's on Boston. But either way, they've got some really good players over there. Chris Sale, thank you, Chris Sale. Another White Sox pitcher. All these, just saying, all these pitchers that I'm naming pitch for the White Sox at one point in time.
And Jerry Reinsdorf, get it together.
I get it.
Hey, have you seen their like Bulls homage uniforms?
Yeah.
What do you think about them?
They ain't actually half bad. I didn't like them when I first saw the picture of them, but now that they wore them on the field, they're actually pretty cool.
My good friend here at my job, Andrew Bancher, he's one of our sports anchors and reporters. He was like, they're not bad, but it's just like a copy and paste. There's nothing
Of the last
original.
one? Yeah.
Well, just like of the Bulls uniform. He's like, it's nothing special about them. Like, it's cool that like a baseball team is wearing them, but outside of that,
they could have done. They love that pinstripe look. It's like, I don't know. It's like historic. So
I guess. So the teams that I had, and I'm not necessarily like a homer, but since I live here, I watch them quite a bit. I do have the Brewers as a team that I could see climbing.
Yeah.
I just feel like across the board, like in a way, they're like the Indiana Pacers, where they just have a ton of good players. Like you look at the Indiana Pacers, like box score, they'll all have like 20. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like everybody's just good. But when it comes to the Brewers, it's like you have Jackson Churio, who will eventually like be their best player. Mm-hmm. You got Bryce Terang, Sal Frelick, William Contreras, Christian Yelich is still on the team. He's been cold as of late.
Yeah.
But they just have like a ton of solid players, and I mean, we were talking about a little bit earlier about just like the depth, and I feel as that the past like few years, even though they've lost players like Devin Williams, but like Brandon Woodruff is going to come back eventually. Like he's working his way back, into getting back to the team and being healthy. And I just feel as if the past few years they always early on start out like a little bit cold, but then they turn that corner because they do have so much depth across the board.
And it's funny that we both chose one from the NL Central. It's funny because I feel like the NL Central, they're all middle-of-the-road teams. But that's the problem. All of them are middle-of-the-road teams, meaning that all of them have potential to be good at some point in time. But Cincinnati, particularly talking about Cincinnati, Milwaukee, and the Cubs.
And then my bad, go ahead.
No, you didn't say that. It's just they all got opportunity to be successful down the line in that.
It's like one
in that division.
Hot month will make the difference for any of them. Like any of them get hot for a month and they're Gucci. And then this is more of a feel good solely because this is their last year playing there. But I want the A's.
Definitely a feel good, but it's okay.
Like the fact that they're over 500 right now, you know what I mean? I just feel as if that's going to be like the story. Like they're going to find a way to get into the postseason. Last year in Oakland, like they're
in a bad stadium.
An awful stadium.
Oakland fans in a bad stadium.
An awful stadium. They're spending the least amount of money of anybody in the MLB. They found a way to be over 500, and like they've got decent players. Like they got
Shane Langoliers.
Yeah, like they got Jacob Wilson, they got Brent Booker, Lawrence Butler, Tyler Sedostrom. Like they've got some players, man. And again, it just feels like something in a Disney movie that you'll see 15 years from now.
I am interested in going to their stadium though when they move. I'm gonna go to that stadium when I get over to Vegas.
Hey man, let them enjoy their time.
Bro, nobody want to be there no
Let
more.
them enjoy-
I don't even think the players want to be in that stadium no more.
They need to stop playing like it then. They need to stop playing like it then. Right now they're playing well.
I know.
So I just solely think like pride of the city type stuff. Like we're doing it for Oakland.
Yeah, they lose everything. We gotta leave the fans.
Yeah, like imagine if the St. Louis Rams, like, was a playoff team that final season there in 2015. That city would have rallied around them. Wild card game would have been packed or something. You know, they make the postseason. Zendaya might pop up to a game.
Yeah.
Kendrick might pop up. You know, just saying. But yeah, so that one was like a little bit funny, but it would be cool to see them squeeze through solely because of what's going on with.
I'm with you. I'm
that
with you. I'm
franchise.
a support. I'm a support. Since you brought it up, I'm gonna support him. I'm gonna root for him for the last part. Well, I guess that's the last part of the season, just getting started really. But I'm gonna support him the rest of the season. But look, all right, man, made it through our 3 topics. Mm-hmm. The kicker. We are here. Hey, top 5 sports video games.
I'll let you start.
All right.
I'm not gonna lie. Other than like the first couple topics, I've been looking forward to this one the most. I'm so curious to see what games you chose, and I wonder if we have any that are the same.
I got you. So look, I'm gonna go not in order first, just off the list. NBA Street 3. NBA Street Volume 2. Okay. NFL Street 3.
Okay.
I got Mario Super Sluggers.
Okay.
Mario Super Sluggers. I've got, what's it called? NBA 2K11. One with Jordan on the cover. 2K11 with Jordan on the cover. And what was the final one? Hold on. The final one was, what's it called? I think I chose NBA Jam.
Okay. All right. This is mine. I've got NFL Street 2.
Yep. Okay. Oh, you're like 2. Okay. 2 instead of 3. I got you. 2
with Exhibit.
Exhibit,
You played the Exhibit team at the end of the season. I got 2. Madden 11,
okay.
And I'll explain why. Rocket League.
Okay. No, yeah, Rocket League. I'm sorry. Rocket League can swap out for mine. Rocket League's a great game. Go ahead.
Rocket League. NBA 2K13.
Okay.
And then Street Hoops, which was like, we'll probably never see anything like it again. It came out in 2002. You had like Hot Sauce on there. Mm-hmm. Booger. Like, all the other games are NBA players playing street basketball. But this game was solely about street basketball. Hoopers. Yeah, where you like actually break somebody's ankle. Like you hit X and they fall. Yeah, I went Street Hoops. Came out in 02. I had it on Xbox.
No, but, wait. I'm sorry. I forgot one. I just completely tweaked. My game that I used to play it all the time. Tony Hawk Proving Grounds. Yeah, gotta swap one out. Skate 3. Look, you gotta be like, look, you guys. I'm sorry, I can't choose a Madden game. I just can't. I just cannot choose a Madden game.
I love football too much to not have Madden in some capacity on there.
That's true. But that's why I went with the street aspect.
If I could add one more and make it like my top 6.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk American Wasteland.
Okay.
Crazy, like the concept. Do you know like the concept of the game? Like you're building like the ultimate skate park. Like all the missions you do, you're like taking random stuff from different cities. Like I don't know, and you put it into like your skate park. They don't make
Tony Hawk games are legit, bro. They
don't make games like that. Yeah, like Tony Hawk Underground.
Yeah, those are legit. But look, I think I just really liked Street 2, NBA Street Volume 2. I mean, look, we got. Who was on the front? What, Julius Erving or something like that? With the
Dr. J.
Dr. J was on the front. It was just legit. Like, I don't know. At that point, you just heard every time the ball going through the net. Like you just, I don't know, game breaker. You just heard.
Yeah, no,
it was legit. Those are my games. The street games were like second to none. Like for me, NFL and NBA, I could play those all day and not get bored. Like, it's just what it was.
Whenever you're in town, you got to slide to either my family's or Jason's. We got maybe just the original NFL Street on the GameCube, and we play it. We play it every time I'm over.
Yeah, I got to tap in.
But I played, I just felt like Street 2, for me, a lot of the games that I chose were games that I felt like really reinvigorated or were creative. Like Street 2, the fact that like you could create your own guy. Now you have your own, you create like your own team, and you're playing a full season of like really being able to like imprint whatever you want into your team. Like you pick whatever they're wearing in their uniforms and all that stuff. Like that's why I really rocked with Street 2. And then the fact that like Exhibit of all people has a team, like he has the ultimate team that you're going to play at the end of the year. For me, when I picked Madden 11, I felt as if the presentation of Madden 11 is something they're extremely lacking now. And they stuck with this presentation for the while, but like they would show the players getting off the bus, and the players would have like their pregame chant. Even like the gameplay itself, that's when you'd like have to tap X or whatever to, you know, fight for the fumble, whatever maybe. I just felt like the gameplay itself was super like refreshing and inventive, and it wasn't just like a copy and paste over to something new. When it comes to Rocket League, I wasn't like a big Rocket League player. I didn't start playing it until after I graduated college, and I was like working, and a friend was just like, hey, like, have you ever played this? I'm like, no. But you have like two of the most universal things in the world. You've got cars, where no matter where in the, like, you have racing, you know, organizations throughout the world. Then soccer is the most popular sport in the world, and they were able to combine the two of them beautifully. Even though like I'm not a big car person or a soccer person, the fact that I can appreciate it, you know what I mean? I thought Rocket League is, I'm not gonna say ahead of its time, but is one of those more
right on
like inventive games that you don't really see anymore, because everything is attached to some type of IP nowadays.
Yeah.
And then NBA 2K13, same thing. When it comes to, like, I feel as if 2K really started, like, this wave of really entering more of, like, the pop culture zeitgeist. And this is when I felt like the My Career mode was really coming into its own. Like, you would do the post-game press conferences. You would sign, like, with the shoe brand. You were doing that in the other 2Ks, but it was, like, even more a part of the story. And then the fact that they partnered with Jay-Z and Spike. No. That wasn't Spike Lee yet, but they partnered with Jay-Z to like produce the game. Like that was huge for 2K. I don't think we understand just how important like music has been a part of like sports video games.
Yeah.
My brother and I, we were talking about this the other day, how those early 2K games, the music was a whole bunch of artists you'd never heard of. Like if I told you who Hogany was, would you know who I'm talking about?
Not a chance.
Probably not, but you probably know I Won't Back Down from 2K11. I won't bow down to no man. Yeah.
Look.
You know that song from 2K, right? So before they were like huge, they had to get those unfortunate like less known artists. But then once you were able to get Jay-Z, think about all the mainstream music that they've been able to acquire for the game since 2K13. On top
and
of
like with the updates now, they're updating as they go. Like as songs drop, they're adding new music in. Like they got to the point where they're really adding music. Like music's like a forefront of the game rather than a back.
Yeah, and even just like My Career, they were really like perfecting it, and I feel as if this was more like the precursor to like the Park and the Rec, because more of that was being integrated and pushed into game. Like the first 2K where you were able to like play against other My Career players, I want to say was 11, but 13 is when they really started like perfecting it, and even the gameplay I thought was really good in 13. And then Street Hoops, again, like, we're never going to see a game like that again. Like, that 2002 Street Hoops game with hot sauce in them and Booger, we'll never see that again.
You know what I just thought of? I guess this is it's a new-gen game, because I really thought of, like, my past in this. But I'm not going to lie. Was really a great game. This game was anticipated since, what? Was the last game 14?
Yep.
14?
14 with, I almost said Devin Gardner.
But it was Devin Gardner.
It wasn't. Denard Robinson.
Denard Robinson. Yeah. Denard Robinson. Thank you. It was Denard Robinson. But no, yeah, since then to now, NCAA 25, the game, I think they really took their time on that game. Like, I'm not, which is crazy because I love football. I watch football, everything like that. I mean, like, I know ins and outs of football. I don't like Madden. For some reason, I just don't
Neither
like
do I.
the copy paste. I'm not a Madden fan.
But
I was able to play NCAA 25 and enjoy the game.
Current Madden is unrealistic. Like it's hard for me to enjoy, but NCAA 25 was definitely
nice.
One of them ones for sure.
It's gonna go down in history.
I think for me, and it goes with 2K as well. Like I just feel like some of the things that made the game suspenseful is no longer there. Like, for example, I do not like the shot meter on 2K, mainly because you know whether or not you're going to make the shot. In the past, there was no shot meter. You would shoot it, and it was like watching it on TV. You don't know if it's going in. You may think you know a dude shot down. You'd be wide open. Shoot it. Dang, missed it. Now, every single time, you know, if it's not green, it's not going in.
Which is crazy. Ain't no way that every shot got to be green. Every release got to be green, 2K.
If I'm shooting with Stephen Curry and I'm wide open,
shooting a white ball, a white.
Should
miss.
Not.
You gotta. It goes in.
So it's little things like that where on 2K I'm just like, I wish they would go back to how it was growing up, because it made the game more suspenseful. Now it's kind of gimmicky. It's like, okay, if I hit at this line every single time,
if I make this one move, behind the back move into this one shot, it's a green every time. Bro,
every time. Like, it's kind of like,
you gotta fix it a little bit.
It wasn't NBA Live. It might have been NBA Live. Or maybe one of those other
06 with D Wade on the cover. That was my game, but go ahead.
When you'd have to, like, when you're shooting free throws, the ball would move, and you have to, like, stop it in the middle, and then there'd be another horizontal ball, and you have to stop it in the middle. But, like, if you had a good free throw shooter, it'd be slow. But if you had, like, Shaq, it'd be like... That's kind of like what the shot meter is now, where it's like, I don't want to know for sure if I'm making the shot or missing it every single time. And then, like, with Madden... Like, there's no more contested catches if the player does, like, if their X factor isn't activated. Where it's like, that wasn't the case Madden 11. Like, if I threw it up to Larry Fitzgerald, like, he could come down with it, or he may not. But it shouldn't take 3 wide open 20-yard catches to activate this X factor to now, like, okay, if he has to double me X factor, now I can catch contested passes. Like, come on, bro. Like, why? I think the functions initially had good intentions, but now I just felt as if it's made the game kind of lazy. Like, if
I'm with you.
I told y'all this the other day. If I'm not motivated to buy a new basketball or football video game, if there's not, like, rookies I want to play with, and mainly, like, rookie quarterbacks, or if there's, like, a forward or something that I want to play with on 2K, I'm probably not tuning in.
Yeah. I haven't bought a Madden since Madden 16, 17. Like, I'm just not going to buy it.
Really?
I don't buy Madden.
I didn't know that.
I don't buy Madden at all.
I did not know that. That's a little crazy.
I'm just not buying the game, bro. Like, you know, back in the day, I played Madden. Oh, let's play Madden. You versus dude. I used to be at least good at it. Like, I'd be competitive. No, I'm getting scraped now. If someone like asks me to play Madden, I'm getting destroyed.
Do you remember, like, your, like, ultimate Madden moment? I mean, at least for me, I remember.
Not necessarily.
You kicked, like, a 70-yard game-winning field goal by putting Marquette King in at kicker. Because he had, like, a kick power like 99.
Yeah.
And you were playing Kwesi, and you were, like, super far away. And it's like, all right, a Hail Mary probably not going to work. But he got a 99 kicking. You kicked like a 69-yarder to win the game, putting Marquette King at freaking kicker.
He was swaggy too, arm sleeving off.
He was definitely like that.
Look, tats on one arm, sleeve on the other. He was tatted, yatted, and ready to kick.
Yeah, he booted like a 69-yarder. I'm sitting here watching this like, there's no way this is going.
It probably had that slowdown. I don't know what Madden it was. We had like a slowdown screen. Like if he was just about to make it, they like put a whole different screen up, or like watch the ball and try to sail through that. I'm like, come on now, bro.
Bro, it was crazy. I'm like, ain't no way that just happened.
No, but
crazy
man,
part is I don't even play games like that anymore. Like
I don't play none of that.
Like, I don't have time. That's why it's no like recent ones on here for real. The only time I play is if I go back home to Illinois. Other than that, I don't really play games.
I had my against Jacob. Jacob be like, "What is this?"
It's belt every time. It's not even fun. It's not even fun. Well, all right. Anything else before we wrap things up?
No, man. I think that's about it, man. I think we tackled all the topics that we wanted to in this episode. I appreciate all y'all boys and girls joining, watching, and enjoying what me and Jalen got going on. I really hope y'all can just join us and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at The Locker Room.
Yeah.
The Locker Room Pod.
At The Locker Room Pod on Instagram, man. And then we're just starting this thing up. First episode had 40 views. I mean, the fact that 40 people took time out of their day to watch us is from the both of us. That's huge.
Yeah, man. It's like just growing from now. I really, like I said, I really appreciate all y'all that tuned in, and we're gonna post a little more snippets on Instagram and TikTok. So stay tuned.
Yeah, more coming. All right, my dog.
All right.
I'll see you next
Yep.
week.
See you,
All
man.
right, peace.